Sport on 4 with Stepstone Online Recruitment.
Hello and welcome to F3 on 4 from Spa in the Ardennes. Whilst this is our only overseas visit this year, the talk is that next year the championship will also be visiting Mondello Park and Zandvoort. And whilst travelling abroad offers spice to a series, you can't get better than Spa for excitement. But first, we're going to take a look back at the last round from Snetterton with Martin Havens.
Antônio Pizzonia converted his third pole position of the season into his fifth win. He was hounded the whole way by title rival Tomas Scheckter, but the Stewart driver was never able to challenge for the lead. Takuma Sato's run of good form ended with this spin while lying fourth behind his teammate Ben Collins, who later went on to finish third for his second best result of the year. But Collins was helped when Andrew Kokody spun out of third at the end of lap 1, taking off Jimmy Bruni as well. In the scholarship class, Gary Paffett lost his unbeaten record when he chipped over Warren Carway near the end, and Atsushi Katsumata nipped through to win. Pizzonia now leads Scheckter by 39 points with just 42 still available. Sato's secure in third, and countryman Katsumata's win in the scholarship class leaps him up to fourth.
Now, we're always banging on about the British Formula 3 series being the best in the world, and with some justification. But what better test is there than for the top European drivers to come and race against us? Well, that's the case here at Spa, so which of the foreign entries are going to be amongst the front this weekend?
The French ASM Elf team were present with Tristan Gomidi and his teammate, the Portuguese Tiago Monteiro, who currently lies third in the French series.
Well, it's always good for us to measure ourselves to another championship. The English Championship is a very good one, so we try to do as more races as possible with them, like international races like Zandvoort or Spa in July. And Spa, it's a great track. I mean, I love this track, and it's very good for us to be here.
The only other foreign team was JB Motorsport, sure to be a crowd favourite with two Belgian drivers, Nicolas Delandre and Val Hildebrandt.
I'm racing the Dutch Championship, but it hasn't been going very well, so I did a couple of good qualifications. But we decided to come here because it's a nice track to learn, to get your driving skills up and learn the car. It's so close to home also. So.
Now, along with some of the foreign faces racing here this weekend, we've also got another new entry. Julian, what are you doing here?
That's a good question, really. I'm not 100% sure myself. The truthful story is that we're here with a new team. Parker F3 is a new team to scholarship, and they want to run a driver next year, and they're basically putting a toe in the water.
Well, if Spa's the best racing circuit in the world, then Eau Rouge is without a doubt the best corner. It's a dauntingly fast left-right, down a really steep dip, and then up the other side. So, Mike, tell me what it's like to drive in a Formula 3 car.
Very, very exciting. As you say, one of the best corners in the world in motor racing. Accelerating down the hill, the car's getting faster all the time, you put it into top gear, and you're faced with a left-hander into what looks like a cliff face. And it really does take a lot of courage to actually stay flat on that throttle and just turn left and right without lifting. A small mistake can lead to massive accidents. As Catherine Legg yesterday in the Formula Ford race, a very, very small mistake into a big accident. Last year, Bertie coming down from the start, pushing Mark Hines across, lots of courage, lots of determination, and it really does pay off for the lads who really attack this corner.
It's also very fast when you're out in the country in a Formula 3 car. In fact, most of the overtaking is going to be done under braking at corners like Le Combe, where there was a big accident 2 years ago, or here at the bus stop. So, Mike, what's the tactics here?
The tactics here, really, you're flat out in a Formula 3 car from Stavelot, top gear, flat through Blanchimont, down into a very slow entrance to the bus stop. If you're going to overtake, dive down the inside, but it's going to put you offline into the bus stop. So, really, you can let a guy go through and then try and get a faster exit, because the exit of the bus stop is very quick, and then you can have them under braking for La Source.
Well, to find out what the Spa circuit looks like from inside a Formula 3 car, I was lucky enough to have the unique experience of going round in a two-seater.
From the hairpin at La Source, the power builds up the speed down the hill here, across the starting grid and into Eau Rouge. And anybody who was on the throttle through Eau Rouge will be past you before the braking area at Les Combes, where you turn off the old road circuit and onto the modern racing track. Now it's downhill all the way, through Rivage, and the double left-hander here at Priaulx. The car picks up speed very quickly indeed, and a good chassis balance is critical. Climbing back up now onto the old road circuit, approaching the end of the lap, through the bus stop chicane.
My goodness, that was quite astonishing. One thing I was never expecting was the vibration that you get from the engine when it's sitting right behind you. Absolutely unbelievable experience. The speed and the way they corner is just amazing.
The car is really well balanced, so it's really the same to drive. The difference is on the braking points and the fast curves. We lose a little bit because of the weight, but otherwise it's really nice to drive. And it's always good to show people how we feel, so that's good.
For the last 5 rounds of the championship, the man on pole has gone on to win. But for this round last year, the pole sitter was a certain Jenson Button, and in the race he could only manage 4th place. So what's going to happen this year? Well, qualifying's about to start, so we'll go to join Martin Haven.
Surprisingly for the Ardennes, in autumn, conditions were ideal. Takuma Sato recovered from his Snetterton problems to set a challenging pole position, allegedly helped by some judicious short-cutting at the bus stop chicane.
This morning was really good timing, you know, the fast flying lap, fun, that's it.
His teammate Ben Collins was just behind him in the first session, but the Carlin driver failed to improve in the afternoon, dropping 4 places to a disappointing 6th. Meanwhile, points leader Antônio Pizzonia had done enough to set up a title-winning race with 3rd on the grid.
3rd is not too bad, I think. It's good for the championship, but of course everybody wants to be on pole.
His sole remaining rival, Tomas Scheckter, was trying really hard, practically brushing the wall at the bus stop, but the Stewart driver could manage no better than 9th. Nicolas Kiesa qualified 4th behind Pizzonia, despite not posting a time in the first of the 2 qualifying sessions.
It's good starting 4th. I think I got the best of what we had to offer today, so see if we can improve on it till tomorrow.
The Dane ended up just ahead of Narain and Karthikeyan, who was more than half a second faster than Stewart teammate Scheckter. But what about the foreign contingent? Well, they were finding life a bit difficult. Val Hildebrand flew over the curbs, and Tristan Gomedy went off at the barriers at the bus stop. As a result, they couldn't break into the top 10. Amanda's new friend Tiago Monteiro did, however. The Portuguese put many of the British Series stars into the shade with a strong 2nd place.
Today I took the front row, so I'm really happy for it. The engine, I mean, there is a lot of stories about the Renault engines in England, and then now we proved that the Renault engine is very fast too.
Scholarship champion Gary Paffett was keen to put his Snetterton failure behind him and out-qualified his rivals by 2 seconds. The winner last time out at Sushi Katsumata would start 6 places further back in 23rd. So Sato sets his 5th pole position of the year, well ahead of Monteiro, with Pizzonia and Kiesa on row 2, ahead of Karthikeyan and Collins. In the scholarship class, Paffett led Katsumata, who was well placed to make up more points on Colombo and Walker.
So Antônio Pizzonia goes out there today to clinch the title. See if he can do it in a couple of minutes in F3 on 4. Welcome back to F3 on 4 in the 11th round of the Green Flag British Formula 3 Championship from Spa. Now, is this going to be the race that we see Antônio Pizzonia crowned as champion for 2000? Let's find out with Martin Haven.
Races at Spa are so often a lottery because of uncertain weather, but the British Formula 3 contingent look as though they will have absolutely perfect racing conditions on one of the world's greatest circuits. The end of the green flag lap, and somebody's in the pits. That is a Carlin car. That is Takuma Sato, the pole position man, in the pit lane before the start of the race. This is the end of the green flag lap. He's rolling down towards the team. He's got desperate trouble. So Monteiro on the front row alone, ahead of Pizzonia and Kiesa, with Karthikeyan and Collins behind. Work at the back of the car. Is it a gearbox problem? It doesn't look like it's an engine problem. And I think they are adjusting the gearbox linkage. On board with Pizzonia now, a clear road ahead of him, right to green, very quick start. Oh, Pavlovich doesn't get away at all, stalls the engine. Scheckter had to swerve by him, and Scheckter now inside Jimmy Bruni at Eau Rouge, doesn't get through, but look at Karthikeyan around the outside and then the inside of the second place man, Antônio Pizzonia. Karthikeyan is up into second. Pizzonia staying on the right-hand side. Tiago Monteiro goes over there as well. And will Karthikeyan be hung out to dry? He's sticking on the racing line. Pizzonia on the inside. Kiesa coming between them. No, Kiesa doesn't get his nose in there either. A very bunched field the first time through Les Combes. And that is Marcos Ambrose all over the grass, taking the Michael Schumacher line through. Riding again with Scheckter. There ahead of us is Jimmy Bruni. Scheckter's picked up 2 places from cars not making the start properly ahead of him. Up in 7th now. Jimmy Bruni breaks too late, runs wide through Rivage, but gets his nose back in. That was a lucky break for him. Karthikeyan in 3rd, Pizzonia in 2nd. So Scheckter could do with Karthikeyan taking that place back again, taking more points away from Pizzonia as he tries to work on Jimmy Bruni. But in the pits, there's Trevor Carlin looking cool, calm and collected. I bet he doesn't feel it, and I bet Takuma Sato doesn't either. Riding again with Tomas Scheckter. Jimmy Bruni's just got past Nicolas Kiesa. Now Scheckter slots in behind the RC Benetton driver at the bottom of the valley now. And this is a climb. It's not as fierce as the one out of Eau Rouge, but it's still uphill all the way. Scheckter blindingly fast up behind Kiesa. Slipstreams past him. You can see the white lines. They're on the old part of the circuit, the former road circuit. 8 3/4 miles it was, 4.3 now. Less than half the distance, but still a mighty challenging track. So Scheckter picks up another spot. Ben Collins rides the curbs there in 4th spot, and Scheckter in 6th. Well, these Formula 3 gearboxes are not meant to be changed in a hurry. Sato's still in the pits, and look at this. Karthikeyan now trying to get the place back into Eau Rouge, down the inside of Pizzonia, and Pizzonia will brave it out. That's very, very ballsy racing by both men, but Pizzonia, I think, may lose out on the long run up the Camel Straight. He's got Karthikeyan right with him. The Indian driver needs to stay in the tow. He's got Collins towing off him, and that will slow Karthikeyan down. Now Collins goes to the outside. He's going to try and pass Karthikeyan on the outside line. Under braking, he gets him. Karthikeyan goes down one rather than up one there. Use of the slipstream by Ben Collins, superb, and off go 2 more cars. Wesley Barber and Marcos Ambrose. Ambrose going across the grass for the 2nd time. Looks as though his race is run this time, though. Into the pits has come Val Hildebrand. This is the JB Motorsport driver that we spoke to earlier. And the mechanics looking at the back of the car. Riding with Antônio Pizzonia through the flat-out left-hander at Blanchimont. Tiago Monteiro ahead, but Scheckter back in 6th, and if Pizzonia can only finish there, he will win the title. He's got to avoid contact with Ben Collins, though, and the Englishman is right up behind him. Almost looked as though they made contact under braking. So Pizzonia, it's all serene in front of him, but his mirrors are very busy, and out now into the fray will come Takuma Sato. Fired up, and hopefully with a functioning gearbox, he may even take a point for fastest lap. He's probably furious enough to do it. Andrew Kokotti comes down the inside into La Source, picks up a spot there, and there is Takuma Sato heading off up the hill on cold tyres as Antônio Pizzonia comes down into Eau Rouge on hot tyres. He's got everybody bottled up behind him, but down in the pits, let's catch up now with Amanda.
Trevor, what was all that about?
It seemed that Takuma's car got stuck in 2 gears on the parade lap, stuck in 2nd and 3rd gear. We couldn't get it out of 3rd gear, so you know, it's a nightmare. I don't know what's caused it, so we've had to pull it out. You know, the car should be fine now.
Well, that should keep him. There he is, just out of the range of the leaders for a while. Monteiro 2 laps ahead of him. Pizzonia in 2nd place. He's got Karthikeyan with him, and look at that, Bruni's ahead of Collins. Collins looking to take the position back there. Doesn't quite manage it. Well, let's have a look back at the parade lap. Here is the poleman Sato. Suddenly comes to an almost grinding halt. Grinding being the operative word. He's wrestling in the cockpit. Marcos Ambrose, it seems he's now out of the race after that clash.
Obviously a very early retirement. What happened?
Well, really starting from 20th, you know, anything can happen. And I tried to pass with Zibaba into the up the top there of the hill, and he didn't want me to, so you know, we crashed. But I should be back there in the first place. So if someone wants to play a game, so be it, you know.
Tiago Monteiro leading, but what's happening to Pizzonia? Karthikeyan has slotted by him at La Source into 2nd place. Has the Brazilian got a problem with the car? Sounds fine coming down the hill. He's hugging the pit wall, going to take a long run down into Eau Rouge behind Karthikeyan. Karthikeyan moving out and back to defend. He's not going to make his move there, but he's perfectly placed out of Eau Rouge. Now let's ride with the Brazilian. Karthikeyan ahead, and the effect of the slipstream is to slow the car ahead down while it speeds yours up. Karthikeyan pulling both of them through the air, and Pizzonia benefiting. He gets the pass done well up the straight, long before the braking area. Karthikeyan twitching around behind, but a perfect slipstreaming overtake. Now then, Tiago Monteiro still well ahead of them. What can they do about him? Nothing, it seems. Into the pits comes Christian Colombo. I think we can safely predict that as being a bit of a retirement. And here is Torsha Charvanen's car in the middle of the road at the bus stop. That's Rob Austin's machine behind as well. I wonder if they were all involved in some way. Marshall's getting them out of the way as everybody else continues on their way. Hairpin at La Source, Tomas Scheckter in 6th position. Ahead of him, Ben Collins. We've seen Collins yo-yo up and down the order. That's very unusual in F3. Clearly slipstreaming not always working to his best effect. 6 won't do it for Tomas Scheckter for this year's championship. He's got to get right up the order and challenge and pass Pizzonia. And even then, the mathematics don't work in his favour. But a great run on Ben Collins. Uses the slipstream perfectly, and he's long by him before they get to the braking area. Monteiro, and then Pizzonia, Karthikeyan, Bruni, but Collins trying to come back at Scheckter. He had almost enough straight left to try and tow his way back up. Doesn't quite get it done, and now as we ride with Nicolas Kiesa, Collins in trouble again. Kiesa lucky not to lose a nose wing there on Collins' rear tyre. That might have caused them both a lot of problems. Well, here's a man who has had a lot of problems.
Christian, car's in quite a mess. What happened?
The problem in the bus stop, I think Austin and Shriakaman in touch, and when I arrive, there is a stop and I touch.
At the bus stop then, Pavlovich and Mail leading Charvanen and Austin. They obviously tangle, and Colombo getting caught up in it. All 3 of them out on the spot. Bad news for Torsha Charvanen, and bad luck for Rob Austin. His 2nd F3 race, he didn't even get to start the first one at Silverstone. Well, here is Antonio Pizzonia, heading for the Formula 3 title. Can't do anything at all about the race leader, but he's got Scheckter exactly where he wants him, bottled up behind. Now then, let's see what Kiesa can do here against Ben Collins. Kiesa pulling down the straight behind him. He's going for the inside at Eau Rouge, thinks better of it. That won't help him up the hill now. Let's see if he can use some aerodynamic tow. I don't think he's close enough now, and he had to lift going into Eau Rouge, but he's just about got the momentum to do it. Now he's picked up the tow. See the little red light on top of the dashboard? The engine is over-revving. He's going so fast, and that's not the way it's geared to work. Well, he just picked up the tow from Collins, got inside at the top of the straight, but that was touch and go. Now Collins under threat from the Renault engine cars, and I don't think Ben Collins has got the strongest engine out there anymore. It looks like it might have gone a bit sick on him. This is Val Hildebrand leaving the pits again. The JB team having a torrid time. Nicolas Delandre, his teammate, tangled with Gary Paffett on lap 1, and they both retired. And Hildebrand having a tough time as well. Peter Nielsen here leading Julian Westwood. Bit of a mismatch in terms of experience here. Westwood started from the pit lane. He's catching up fast though. Plenty of single-seater experience. Long while since he's been in an F3 car, though. That puts him third in the scholarship class now. Plenty of battles down the order as well. Pavlovich on the inside of Bentwood here. And Pavlovich overcooking it on power. Bentwood all over the curbs on the outside. That's another Michael Schumacher, Damon Hill kind of confrontation there. Pavlovich gets it all going again. And he'll have to do all that hard work again to catch Bentwood. And it is very, very frustrating trouble for Ben Collins. Whatever was wrong with the car before is certainly very wrong with it now. He was absolutely furious. Well, what is it? He's still got enough engine power to spin the wheels. He spun the car coming into the bus stop chicane. And Jean-Alacing himself round into the right direction. Only one wheel spinning, though. And that seems to me that it may be a broken drive shaft. Tiago Monteiro doing a very good job here, leading the best of British. He's running on strange tyres here, and that makes a big difference to the feel of the car. They run on Michelin tyres in France, Avon's in the British Series, which he's using for the first time. He's only running third in their championship as well, but he's still beating everything that the British Series has to offer on familiar territory. So he's having a great run. Not so, I'm afraid, for Tomas Scheckter, unable to even stay with the cars in front of him. And out front, of course, in second spot and scoring maximum points in the British Championship at the moment is the championship points leader, just a handful away from victory in the title race. And it looks as though Antônio Pizzonia will be able to clinch it here. Just La Source to get right. The checkered flag awaits for Tiago Monteiro, who wins the race. He's third on the trot, only the third of his Formula 3 career. But it's Pizzonia who takes maximum British Championship points. He wins the title. And Atsushi Katsumata takes his second consecutive scholarship victory. While Monteiro is absolutely delighted, banging his head with glee and punching the air, is the new British Formula 3 champion, Antônio Pizzonia. So a comfortable victory for Monteiro. Karthikeyan third from Bruni, Scheckter and Kiesa. And in the scholarship class, Katsumata takes his second win, 40 seconds clear. So Pizzonia loses the race, but wins the title.
Must have been very happy when Takuma went off.
Yeah, when I saw that, I thought, well, that's my chance, so I really have to get it now. And then at the end, I was just waiting for the time to come out. And I'm just so happy. It was wonderful.
Many, many congratulations. You must be delighted.
Yes, I'm really happy. I think more than 8 months working really hard, and I'm really happy. I don't even know what to say. I just want to celebrate now and call my father.
Well, the tears say it all. 198 points for Pizzonia means he scored 4 for every 3 scored by Scheckter. Sato did get the point for fastest lap, but third place is up for grabs. In the scholarship class, Katsumata moves closer to Colombo and Walker in the fight for second place.
The Brazilian driver, Antônio Pizzonia. For the race winner, the Portuguese star, Tiago Monteiro.
So congratulations to Antônio Pizzonia for wrapping up the Formula 3 title for the year 2000 with just one race to go. Mike, he was pre-season favourite and now he's gone on to do it. How do you rate him?
I rate him very highly. A very controlled race today. Beautifully driven. Congratulations to him.
Well, for the last race, we're all going to be going home to Silverstone, and you can see all the action from there in a couple of weeks in F3 on 4.
Well, it's wet and horrible outside, but Channel 4 will be covering the horse racing at York and Southall live today at 2:40. Coming up, it's GT on 4 at Snetterton. It's all bumper to bumper next.
Sport on 4 with Stepstone Online Recruitment.